stuff like that, just getting ready for the game. But I feel like we had a great summer, spring, and then going into fall camp. I feel like we polished everything out, and I think everybody's really ready to play a game. We need to prepare. We know how to prepare this week and get after Utah State.
Landry, in talking to Mitchell a while ago, I was asking him about the difference that he's seen in you. He mentioned the word command. Command of the huddle, command of the offense, leadership role. Do you feel that is applicable?
Yeah, I do. I think getting to be able to get with the guys through spring and then earning the job there, and then going through the summer with them and into fall camp, just getting to know them a little bit, let them know what my expectations are, and kind of step into that leadership role a little bit more now that we actually have a game. I feel like becoming more of a leader on this team. Obviously, still have some more work to do in that area, but I feel like it's becoming easier, and I'm stepping into that role more and more.
Just being elected a captain tell you that you've gotten that point across?
I mean, it's great that my teammates think of me like that, and I'm real grateful that they voted me to captain, and I'm going to do my best to represent who they are and what kind of team we are.
Hey, Landry, when you go back to the spring game and the performance that Kenny Stills had, did you see that coming before that in practices, or did that even surprise you a little bit?
When Kenny came in, we knew he was going to be a good player just because he was really fast and explosive. He had something to do with high school transcripts, so he didn't get to really work out with us that much in the winter workouts. But when spring came along, he really started showing up in practice. So it wasn't a surprise to me how well he performed in the spring game.
I know he's been banged up a little bit in the fall, but how much growth has there been between you guys in the preseason and the fall?
Just getting to work together?
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah, how much have you guys gotten even more on the same page together?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, just being able to throw routes together and knowing how he runs routes and stuff like that, and getting on the same page and getting together and just being able to throw a little bit, and it's been really good, and really excited to see what kind of offense we're going to be and what kind of player he's going to be on Saturday.
Landry, what are you trying to work on in terms of fundamentals? When you look back at how you played at the end of last season and what you're wanting to do right now, have you gotten there, and what specifically have you worked on?
I think last year I didn't do a good enough job of taking care of the ball, and that's been a real emphasis with us during the spring and fall camp, and just taking care of the ball, because most of the time if you have less turnovers than your opponents, you're going to win the game. So that's one of the things that we really emphasized, and I feel like I've gotten a lot better at that.
What's the key to doing that? Just making sure your read's there and not guessing?
Just getting your eyes in the right place is a big part of it. Making sure your reads are right and not really forcing the ball down the field when you don't have to, taking your checkdowns.
This team lost 5 games last year. 4 of them were on the road, ranked opponents, close games. Here we are a year later, and a lot of people are saying, "Oh, use a training big to win the national championship." How does the team go from 5 losses and the things that you guys went through last year to being considered a favorite to win the championship?
I think it's the way we're going to work. We worked in the off season, being here at Oklahoma, we're known as being champions and stuff like that. And last year we had kind of a disappointing season as far as to what standards we wanted to be, and it kind of just made us. I think it made us a little hungrier, made us want to work harder, and made us it opened our eyes a little bit to where we were weak, and we just couldn't just go through the motions in practice and stuff like that. And I feel like we could just show up on Saturday and win games. We actually have to work for stuff, and we have to prepare like champions if we're going to be called champions in practice.
Back in 2005, Coach Stoops talked about he sensed a sense of entitlement going into the season. Those guys lost 4 games. Is that what you're talking about? Kind of the guys expecting, hey, I'm the starter next because so-and-so graduated.
Right. That's kind of like, I felt like a little bit of what happened last year. We had a sense of entitlement going into games on Saturdays just because we were OU and Oklahoma. We're going to win games, and kind of lost where we came from. It's hard work and preparation.
Yeah, we talked about the offensive line. Last year, the yards per carry was one of the lowest in school history. The offensive linemen have talked all summer about how much they put on weight. They want to move the trenches a little harder. Have you seen that in fall and in Is this offensive line going to be a little more physical this year, you think?
Yeah, those guys have worked incredibly hard during the summer and spring ball and stuff like that, and I feel like they're going to be a dominant force for our team, and it's not going to be what you saw last year. They're a totally different group this year.
What do you think of Utah State defensively? What do you see out of them?
They do a lot of things well. They're a real aggressive defense, and they're going to challenge your receivers and challenge you at the line of scrimmage. So we just have to prepare for them, and they're going to be a really solid test for us for our first game.
Do they blitz on every play? Or?
They do bring a lot of pressure a lot of the time, so we have to be prepared for that and have to know where I'm hot and my hot answers, and the offensive line needs to know how to pick up their pressures. But yeah, they do pressure a lot, and we're working on that right now, and I'm trying to get all that sorted out, and so during the game we won't have any surprises.
Have you started to get a little bit of work on Florida State?
No, we're playing Utah State this week, so that's what I'm concentrating on and taking it one game at a time.
Landry, I know last year a lot of youth and experience on the offensive line, but you had a lot of penalties on the offensive line, whether it's holding or false start or whatever. How, as a quarterback, how will you be different handling that on the field this year as opposed to how it was last year?
I mean, you can't really control what the referees are going to call. You know, I mean, obviously we don't want to have holding penalties or anything like that. It's just one of the things that our offense needs to control as a unit. It's everybody on the field. It's me getting the snap count right, so we don't have any offsides penalties, and it's offensive linemen keeping their hands inside. The receivers, same thing, keeping their hands inside, getting their alignment right. So it's just one of those things we needed to clean up, and we've really focused on that because that really killed us in some of our games, put us in 1st and 15 where it's hard to overcome those things.
But as a quarterback, you know, I'm sure last year the coaches were the ones that were in charge of kind of getting after guys. You feel like you'll be more vocal in those situations this year than you were last year, or feel more ownership maybe over the team? Yeah,
I mean, it just comes along with being a leader, growing into that position, and like I said before, working with the guys like an entire year, going through a summer and fall camp with them, kind of stepped into that role more and more.
What's your reaction to what Bob said about being better than Sam, being able to grow that mustache, number one, and what did you see in Sam that you feel you need to try to improve on to reach his level if that's possible?
I don't know about me growing a better mustache than Sam. I don't think Sam really ever tried to grow facial hair. I'm sure he could. I'm not for sure about that. But as far as me getting to Sam's level, and just, that's not my goal. My goal is not to be Sam Bradford. Yes, he is a great player, and does he do some stuff really good? Yeah, absolutely. But that's not who I'm trying to be right now. I'm trying to be Landry Jones, the best player that I can be. And so I'm really just trying to work on myself and improve in the areas that I need to improve in.
What does last year's bowl victory kind of do for you guys coming into the season?
Last year's Bowls victory kind of just allowed us to keep our momentum, keep our good, I guess you'd say, good vibes going into spring ball and stuff like that. And it's kind of been like a snowball effect. The last couple of games we played really good at Oklahoma State, played really good at